much Coach Belichick appreciates and values special teams. When you were first getting interested in playing American football over here in the States, did you ever think that you would be playing for Coach Belichick?
Oh, of course not. It's pretty surreal. I think I'm not the only one who's pretty shell-shocked when he first walked in the door, but he's such a good coach. He's such a football mind, and he just thinks of absolutely everything, stuff that I don't even think of. So yeah, he's been really great to have around. Yeah.
What's been one of those just pointers that he's given you that you would not have thought of?
Just like it's more even like things on like returns. Like he knows like the shape of a good punt, the shape of a shank. Like he knows where to put returners. We bring a rush. If he thinks to right-footed return, he's going to shank the ball. He's going to put a guy on the left. Like if he's going to hit a good turnover, the ball's going to go to the right. It's just like stuff like that. It's just crazy how he's got so much to worry about on other phases, but he's just thinks of everything. It's really cool.
Hey, Grant Sasher. So I know Coach mentioned about your rugby punting, your style of punting. What was the challenges of transitioning from doing rugby punting to doing more conventional, football type punting?
Yeah, well, where I trained at Pro Kick Australia, they taught us everything. I really pride myself in my spiral, my conventional, and I'd love to show that off a bit more. And I think it's such a good weapon. If you're really good at both of those things, it really puts off the other team. They don't know if you're rolling right, they don't know if you're spiraling left. So if I can show at practice and show in games I can do both, I know I'm a really valuable weapon on the team.
Yeah, to go over that a little bit, obviously Bill was just telling us that he kind of has embraced the rugby style point. He feels like that's a strength of yours, and he feels that you're better in that style of point. What do you remember about some of those? You mentioned some of the things that he kind of knows about the kicking game, but what do you remember about specifically those conversations of, we want to keep that rugby style point? Like, what do you kind of remember about those?
Yeah, he just wants the best out of me, and he wants the best out of all the players, and we talked, and I said, I'm really valuable as a rollout guy, and if he finds that as one of my biggest strengths, he's going to, set up the formation to allow me to do that. So, yeah.
Let's go to Shelby.
Shelby with the News Observer. I'm curious, there's videos out there, for instance, of Belichick giving a 10-minute long answer about the history of long snappers, that kind of thing. Have you ever had a moment like that with him where he's just gone on about this one tiny detail or history of X?
He probably has. I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, like I said, he's just such a big football mind. It's just so impressive how, he's really good at simplifying the complex things of football. For an idiot like me who doesn't know anything about football, it makes sense for me. So, that's most important. So.
No, Westcott, Tar Heel 24/7. I'm curious for you when you first got here and then now. Was there like a culture shock? Like how has it been getting acclimated in the United States from your previous home back in Australia?
Yeah, it's a lot different. It's cool. We've got Jacob Horvath, the new Aussie punter. So when I'm sick of the American language, I like to talk to him because we can share the Australian things. But no, America's awesome. I love it. It is very similar to Australia. I can't think of much difference, but like the sport of college football is so different. Like there's nothing like this back home, and 10, 11 games left, and I'm done here. So I've got to really enjoy it, and that's been my mindset this year. Is just go out there, have fun, be confident. It doesn't last forever. In a few months, I'll be in an office back home, so I've got to really enjoy it.
I'm sure you've seen some of the videos about Save American punting from all the Australians that are coming over. Why is it such a big thing in Australia? Why have so many Australians been able to come over here and really contribute in the kicking game across all levels?
Yeah, well, I guess we do all the rugby stuff a lot better over here, and we grow up kicking the footy. Americans grow up throwing it. So I've been kicking a ball since I was 2 or 3 years old. So it's a lot easier to transition to this sport, and do that for sure.
So how often did you do rugby punting here before? And now that you're doing it pretty much exclusively, what are some of the things about it that makes it work better for you as opposed to maybe more conventional?
Yeah, like growing up playing AFL, that's all you do. You have to kick it to pass the ball. So I learnt from that, and it's an easy skill to transition into this. I think directionally, it's definitely a benefit for me. I feel like I control the direction a lot better with the rollout. Coach Prefer, who's awesome, he talks about like extra hang time. If I'm rolling right, that's an extra second that allows my gunners to get down and field the ball. So it's just little things like that. Yeah,
Is it a little bit more challenging to get, when people think of punting, they think you're getting some kind of spiral in there. I don't know. A couple of your punts the other night were end over end, but it didn't look like the hang time was any different. Is it a little bit more of a challenge to get that spiral, or does the spiral not matter as much given the way that you kick it?
Yeah, like with the extra hang time you get from rolling out, it sort of cancels itself out. But yeah, I think I really pride myself on how much I've worked in the summer, strength and technique wise. I'm definitely getting the best hang time I've got this year than the last couple of seasons. I'd like to keep getting that even higher. And yeah.
Tom, along those very lines, coming out of last season, what did you want to try to improve on and work on over the off season? I know the numbers, in terms of the averages and things like that, wasn't where you guys wanted them. I think they were pretty low in the ACC. Like, just what was your focus on in the off season? And when you got Mike Pfeiffer here and guys like that, how did they sort of affect or change where your focus might be?
Yeah, well, like Coach Belichick and Coach Prefer really wanted to get the best out of me in terms of like scheme and showing off my skills, and I'm really like happy with what Prefer's doing. He's really good at adapting to challenges we face in the game. He's really flexible. He'll change a few things on the formation just so I can keep doing my proper routine, my proper steps, and that's allowed me to kick the ball further and higher than I have in the last few years, for sure.
Tom, we talked to you, I guess, a couple of years ago, but it was all new to you. And now this year, it's mostly new in that room, and now you're the vet. What's that kind of feel like?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's definitely the smallest room I've been a part of. We've got me, Spence, Reese, the senior guys, and then we've got Gaetano, Gannon, and Jake. The younger guys, but we're really close. We're really good, all of us, at what we do. And yeah, I've got to enjoy it. My beautiful fiance lands tomorrow. We end our 3 years long distance tomorrow, which is, crazy. It's just like stuff like that. Just got to soak it up. A couple of months, it'll be the end, and wherever it takes me, it takes me. But I'm just going to give everything to Carolina because they've given everything to me. It's been a really good 3 years, and yeah, I'd love to have a great year to finish off my last season here, for sure.
Just another quick follow-up. I'm curious if there's anything, you've kind of hit on this already, but anything else that stands out about maybe the way that Belichick coaches you as a head coach versus maybe what you've experienced in the past?
Yeah, he just, like I said, he just thinks of everything. Practice is set up harder than it is in the game, which is a good thing. Practice, they give you the hardest looks, the best rushes. So I know that when I can go out on Saturday, I see a 5-6 man rush, I know what I've got to do. It's just stuff like that. He thinks of every situation, so I know when I go out there on Saturday, I know I've faced everything that I'm going to face, so it's not a surprise.
Tommy actually reminded me when we first talked to you, you didn't know much about football. So you were going to watch it and learn it. How well do you know the game now? I mean, do you watch other games on TV? And if you do, is it more than just a punt? You're thinking, why are they in that kind of blitz or something like that?
I'm not much better, to be honest. I try and keep it very simple. I just try and think about what I got to do. Even like in the games on Saturday, I don't watch it. I just me and Spencer off the side snapping, and obviously I'm watching where the ball is. I need to know if I need a punt, or if we get a big drive and we're in plus 50, we might be field goal, we might be punting, stuff like that. I'll watch for, but I'll just I've got 100 other mates at other schools. I like to watch them and cheer them on. And in terms of the rules and stuff, if it's not related to punting or field goal, then I'm out. I don't know much. So yeah.
Tom, I just wanted to follow up to your fiance of 3 years. Has never been here? You haven't seen her in 3 years?
Yeah, we've seen each other. It's more she's here for the rest of the season, then we'll fly home together. Yeah, she's been awesome, just sticking by, and we've been together for 6 years this year. I proposed last year, so yeah, I love having her here, and she loves the games, and she loves everything about this school as well, and yeah, it's going to be great last few games together, and yeah, it's awesome.
What's her name?
Claudia with a K.
Claudia with a K.
Yes.
What's the
Al's Burgers is awesome.
Good date night there.
Good, yeah, great burgers. That's not an NIL deal. I'll get in trouble if I say. It's not NIL. There's a lot of good places around. You know, if I'm feeling Ruth and Chris, I'm feeling fancy. So, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously you're talking about just how attuned he is to detail, Coach Belichick. I'm curious if maybe you've taught him anything in return, maybe about like Australian culture or any other things.
I don't think so. Yeah. It's a good question. I'll have to think about that. I don't think. No, nothing. Yeah, nothing for you. Sorry.
All right, good stuff. Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.
Coach Belichick and Coach Pre.
Yeah, with long snapping, I take a huge pride in it because it's a really unseen part of the game. Usually when a punt comes on, and Tom can attest, everybody is usually going to get the concessions. They're on their phone. No one's paying attention to it, but for us, it's a huge part of our game because that's all we do. And so I put a lot of passion into what I do in perfecting what my craft is, whether it's snapping, blocking, and having Tom as the punter, it's been great because we work with each other to figure out what's good for each other, where he wants the ball, where he's standing, where I need to snap it for him. So I take a lot of pride in long snapping it as a whole.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, when did long snapping from your vantage point become your thing, so to speak? I know you long snapped in high school, things like that. When did it become, this is going to be my craft, this is what's going to have me on the field?
So I originally picked it up in 6th grade. My brother was a kicker, and whenever him and my dad went out to the field to work on it, being the little brother, I'm like, I'm going to. Originally tried kicking, figured out I'm not good at that. So I learned how to snap, and I really started taking it seriously about sophomore year, junior year of high school. Going to camps, I figured out I'm really good and can compete with other guys across the country. And as I got into college and worked on my own craft, I started to get better and better and really took pride in what I do.
Real quick follow-up to that, you said initially you wanted to kick. What made you want to get into the kicking thing?
Just that thing of being the little brother, you always want to do what your older brother does. And, I always looked up to my older brother growing up. He was the smart one in the family, the athlete. He ran cross country and did soccer. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a try. And then shortly figured out it was not for me.
Two quick ones. Are you on scholarship? I know it's tough sometimes for the specialists to get on scholarship. And then secondly, Coach Belichick talked about changing some of the ways that you're blocking. Wondered if you could go into detail about what you worked on with him on that.
Yeah, so the first one I am on scholarship, I got put on at the beginning of the year. And with changing things up, I was originally supposed to be a free release guy, snap it and run. But then they realized I could be a very lethal weapon in the protection game. And I take a lot of pride in that because they see I can be of use in protection. And so I put a chip on my shoulder and trying to learn and be as good as possible with that. And I think through spring, summer into the preseason training, I've gotten really good at it. And, they challenge me a lot in practice to give me some tough looks to make sure I'm prepared on Saturdays. And I think it's kind of in a test of how good I am. They're trying to challenge me more and more. And so it's only going to make me better for Saturdays and make Saturdays easy. So I love blocking, honestly.
Tougher to block or go down there and try to make a tackle?
Tougher to block in terms of giving me stuff that maybe other teams might not give, or putting like a very quick guy in there to try and get past me. Just making it harder on me in practice so that when games come, it's a lot easier to do.
Let's go to Adam. Adam Smith, Inside Growing. Spencer, you've been around here a while. I think this is your 6th year.
Yeah.
It's kind of a multi-layered question, if you can bear with me. What made you want to keep coming back? Because you could go on and do something else, I'm sure. You were in early on MAC 2.0. I mean, it was 2020 when you got here. How have you seen maybe this program change over the years, especially with the switch from MAC to Belichick? Not trying to throw anybody under the bus. And maybe how have you seen the perception of football change around here, just through your eyes on sort of the ground level?
So in that first part, what kept me coming back is really more so the academic side of the school. As everyone knows, it's a very prestigious university, and sometimes that title on the degree is very enticing to employers. And everyone knows football isn't for long. Even in the NFL, it stands for not for long. So whenever my football career comes to an end, which who knows, hopefully it's far from now, I want to put myself in the best position possible to be successful after football in whatever career I choose. And going back from one staff to another, this staff definitely puts a lot more responsibilities on us. They're treating us like pros, and they're expecting us to handle ourselves like pros. So they're encouraging us to always do, scouting reports on our own, figure out what our potential matchups are going to be for the week, kind of get an idea of what we're going to see, and move into practice kind of with that information and try and prepare the best way. And it's honestly been a lot more beneficial because in the past it really wasn't encouraged as much. And now it's kind of like, this is what pros are going to do. So if you want to get to that level, you got to get used to it now. And that's what I really like about having Coach Belichick and the new staff in, especially with Coach Prefer. He's the same way. He wants us to know who we're going up against, what their tendencies might be, and try and figure out what we can do in practice to best prepare for it.
So maybe more, just to follow up, sorry, maybe more homework from the end of the game to the start of practice next week, that type of thing, like you need to be prepared, whereas they're not spoon feeding it to you, that type of thing?
Yeah, exactly. And I think for me personally, I always like to, the coaches always break down games and like tell you what they think you did good or what you didn't. But I like to take it personally to do it on my own, self-critique myself, and I'm very hard on myself. I think my room for error personally is very small, whereas someone else could see a snap and like, oh, that was good, but me, I'm like, it wasn't good. It definitely could have been better. So that's something me personally I like to do to make sure I'm the best on the field, so I can give my teammates the best, give the coaches the best, and hopefully give the team a good opportunity to win the game.
No Westhoff, Tar Heel 24/7. I'm curious, what's the story behind you getting on scholarship? Was it like a fun, like how did you find out, I guess is what I'm asking.
I mean, it was one of those things that were like, they kind of just told me, and I was like, cool. Like, it's one of those things, like it's great, but it was never really that for me. I've always just wanted the opportunity to play, and both coaching staffs with Mac Brown and Bill Belichick, they've given me that opportunity, so I'm forever grateful for that, and the scholarship's just an added bonus to it.
Was it Coach Belichick that told you, or was it?
It was before the transition.
Okay.
But once they got back in, they're like, yeah, you're still gonna keep that. So I was like, great.
As a long snapper, I mean, who do you look up to? Greg Warren played here, and he's played in the league forever. I mean, I would think that's a guy that won't follow those footsteps.
Oh, definitely. Especially recently, looking at like all the guys across the leagues, you hear a lot of names like Luke Rhodes, J.J. Jansen, local guy. He's been in the league, forever. John Weeks, a lot of these veteran guys around the league. But I like to look at some guys that are maybe in similar positions or similar body sizes, just to kind of compare games to see like where I think I could stand compared to them. But yeah, definitely Jansen being the local guy. Manley, obviously, he's considered widely as the greatest to ever do it. Jansen's also in that conversation. Weeks as well. Looking up to those guys, it's like quarterbacks looking up to Brady, receivers looking up to Moss. That's what all the guys want to do, is trying to have that longevity that those guys had.
Let's go to Shelby.
Shelby with the News Observer. I'm curious if, and I was just talking to one of your teammates about, but if you have seen the Bill Belichick, 10-minute long answer about the history of long snappers, and if so, just what were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think every long snapper in the country has seen that video, because when the greatest coach of all time goes that long about talking about long snappers, they're pretty tuned to listening to it. But yeah, it's really cool how much he cares about it and how much he actually knows about it. We had a conversation before one practice that felt like 10 minutes, just talking about stuff I could do, stuff I could add to my game, stuff that could help the whole scheme out. And it's really cool when you have a coach who knows that much, because you'll talk to like other head coaches and they're like, oh yep, good snap, we'll move on. Bill will be like, yeah, that was a good snap, blocking was good, did you see this, what else did you see? If you see this, talk to your teammates, help them figure it out, And it's just awesome, because having a coach like him, and especially like Coach Prefer, guys that have so much experience working with, the best to ever do it in the NFL, it kind of encourages you to like work harder and try and be the best and perfect your craft. So it's been really awesome.
A quick follow-up on that. I mean, I'm assuming that you and, a lot of your teammates, when the news came that Bill Belichick was being hired, excitement about this is one of, if not the greatest coach alive coming, but was it a different maybe feeling for you as, oh, I know this guy really cares about special teams and long snapping?
Yeah, much like everyone else, it was definitely a big shock when it happened. But as I let it grow on me, I was like, you know what? Having someone who cares about special teams is going to be awesome, because when you have coaches that care so much about special teams, it's fun to play for. You have guys coming up to them all the time being like, I want to play. I've had some teammates come up to me like, hey, can you talk to the coach about putting me on, one of these teams or one of the scout teams because, I just want to play special teams. I'm like, yeah, of course. Like, that's what you want in any program, guys who are so eager and just want to play that they're going to go to special teams because you have one of the best coaches who knows special teams, values it. And he's even shown so many clips of guys who have been in the league solely on special teams and made double-digit year careers out of it. So it's been really awesome for team morale, just bringing everyone together and wanting to be on special teams.
Anything else for Spencer?
I guess just really quick, again, more guys coming up to you and I want to be on special teams. Would you say that's different, from years past, the number of folks that
Oh, definitely. I mean, from years past, you'd have some guys who just like most people, they were like, I don't really care. I want to play my position. I came here to play my position. I don't want to be right guard on the punt team or the L1 on kickoff. Guys just want to play their position. But now guys are like, oh, playing for this guy, that's a plus in my book.
That was McGinnis's fault on the drop punt against TCU, not yours.
No comment.
Good stuff, Spencer. Appreciate it.
Thank y'all.
Your mental side of the game, obviously with kicking, it's such a mental game. What are some of the things that you do regularly to stay mentally strong? Is there some routine that you have during the week and then on game days?
Yeah, so a lot of things I do is a lot of mental reps on air and probably ask a lot of specialists. I do a lot of just leg swing kicks off the side during the game or maybe at practice as well, just focusing on it. But my routine is just usually typical stretch, do my no steps, one steps, going pulls and lies. I try to keep it simple because I feel like if I try to make it complicated on myself, I'll be trying to keep it simple and easy.
Ariel Bottom, Tornhill Tribune. Now, I thought I saw where when you're practicing before a kick, rather than kicking the ball into a net, you just like to do the motion of a kick. Could you explain that and why you do that?
So for me, it's always hard on the sidelines to even get up kicking the net because everybody's on that side over there, especially when you're in the red zone area, and it's tough. But for me, when you're kicking in a net, you don't get to see that ball and how you hit it. And also as a kicker, you want to get downfield through your kicks. And for me, if I'd get downfield, I'd hit the net and probably trip over the net, and make a fool of myself. But for me, that's where the mental part is of just doing on air reps and mentally knowing a good swing is. So that's why I do it.
Let's go to Jeremiah. Yeah, Jeremiah Holloway with Inside Carolina. I wanted to ask you, what's it been like working with the kicking operation team and just what were, before the season started, what were some of the things that you were able to do with them to kind of form a, chemistry with them and a cohesion with them, all of that good stuff?
So yeah, actually on my official visits when I actually first met Spencer, and that's where on my visit I was looking for an apartment. And Spencer happened to be the guy looking for a roommate, so that kind of worked out really well. So me and him lived together, and Tom wasn't totally here for the whole summer. He was still in Australia, so he got back in late June, early July. But the chemistry's always been there. All the specialists are amazing. It's such a great group. Nobody's ever mad at each other, and it's just everybody's together. And with my operation with Tom and Spencer, it's amazing. I have no doubt in Spencer, and Tom does a great job. And just together, it's just a great operation. So.
As a kicker, is there you have certain preferences on, timing and just the way that maybe the nuances of holding the ball? Is there any of that, or is it?
So for Tom, I just tell him to put the ball straight up and down. And if it's laces back or something, I tell him if you can spin it, do it. But in my mind, I've always been taught a great kicker can kick any ball, no matter what it looks like. And that just means even if it is a bad hold, which that's rarely out of Tom, I just can kick it and put it through because that's my job to do as well. And we're not. Our job's to be perfect, and that's what everybody expects. But when it's not perfect, one's got to step up and fix it. So.
Let's go to Brian. Hey, Reese, can you talk a little bit about the process of getting here? I know Carolina brought in some kickers in the spring, and then kind of turned that room over again after the spring. Were you looking to leave Marshall? What was the process sort of like?
So, a lot of people probably know, we won a conference championship there, and then the whole coaching staff left, and a lot of players left. I stuck it out for the spring because I wanted to try a new staff. I'm never going to doubt a staff. And it was a great staff there. It was just for me, I just wanted to see if I could take my abilities to, the next level. And so when I entered the portal and UNC hit my phone, I was like, it's kind of hard to take an opportunity down like that. So that was pretty simple and basic, but there's no ever hate to Marshall or anything. Marshall never did anything wrong. I just, for myself, wanted to try it at the next level is all.
Did you have a chance to go to Southern Miss with the rest of your teammates, basically?
Yeah, and I appreciate that and everything and what that coaching staff did. They were great people. It was just like, for me, it was just like UNC was a great place, and with the coordinator we have and the coaching staff, it's really experienced, and that's what I was looking for.
Did you take any other visits or think of other places once Carolina hit you?
Carolina hit me like the first day in the portal, so like it was hard not to like go see other places, but I just saw Carolina, and once I came here, I loved it. It was beautiful and amazing because I'm just a kid from Ohio, small town Ohio, so North Carolina was pretty awesome, and yeah, I was really set in when I came here on my visit.
Adam Smith with Inside Carolina. Reese, couple different parts to this question. You hit from 49 the other night. What would you consider to be your range? Like, how far can you take it out? Do you have a left hash or right hash preference? And also, what sort of knowledge have you tried to pick up from Mike Pfeiffer, who has obviously so much experience in the NFL?
So to start with the range, I mean, depends on the weather, temperature, and then how you're feeling that day. As a kicker, you want to be fresh every game, obviously, but I mean, I would say I'm good within like 60. Like, I'm not saying I'm going to make every kick from 60, but I'm saying it's like I'm comfortable through there. And then, what was the second one?
Right hash or left hash?
For
Preference?
a righty kicker, you probably want the left hash because you can stay open a little bit more and like get downfield. While with a right hash kick, you're kind of cut off a little bit, so it's hard to get to your target as much. But with Prefer, it's just awesome having him. Like, he's so knowledgeable. Obviously, he's been in the league forever, and he knows how to work with kickers. He's not going to be the coach that, like, yells at a kicker or throws him down. Like, he understands the mechanics of kicking, and he understands the mindset, which helps a lot because sometimes as a kicker, you might have a bad game or like a bad practice, and he doesn't sit there and, like try to make you feel bad. He sits there and you go through the film with him and we break it down. And for me, I always like to keep it simple, like just see one thing that's wrong and like, all right, fix that. Like, because if you go into too much, you start to overthink. It's kind of like golf, So, yeah.
Hey, Reese. Just first of all, first question. What was that conversation like when you first got that call from North Carolina?
So Prefer called me. It was funny. I actually just got back from the store because me and my girlfriend both lived together at Marshall, and I got the call from him, and I was a random number, and I saw it was Mike Prefer, and I was just like, okay. And I answered, and he's telling me everything. And I was like, wow, no way. Like, I can't believe this is happening because I've always thought about Carolina and just like how cool it was like the Jordan School and everything. But it was just amazing to know like people at this level are interested in me.
And what does it mean for you to be part of a team with a staff that really cares about special teams? I mean, I think we've all seen the whole 10-minute video of Belichick talk about lawn staff. So what does that mean to you as a specialist?
It means a lot because it knows that your head coach is thinking about special teams all the time. And that's like a part of the game that some people don't always look into because it's just not as like looked at. But it's awesome because Belichick will like talk to me at times and there'll be things I didn't even think of as special teams on the field. And it's great because the knowledge he gives me is amazing.
Anybody, anything else for Reese? All right, good stuff, Reese. We appreciate it, man.
Reese,